What a first day in the job for Brian Damas, the new Eskom CEO. The man handed the difficult task of turning Africa's biggest power generator around. Among the first words he had to deal with were illegal strike and blackouts.
Chris, it could have been a lot better. These issues are important, so we have to deal with that. So I'm sure it's hopefully like any other day, and we can just get better from here. Imagine that, eh?
Eskom says it's made contingency plans, but admits a strike next week could hurt.
And if a strike continues for more than a few days, it's very important for me to be very frank and honest with you and tell it the way it is. Supply would certainly be affected.
For the former operations man, who has spent a lifetime at Eskom, this was uncharted political territory. Diplomacy in the face of an illegal strike.
We have very responsible employees, very loyal employees, and we would hope, and I would hope that they would really put the country's interests first. And similarly, our trade union leadership, very responsible leaders, and they will do that. In the case of any specific action, I think we have to state that it's illegal, it's not allowed. Eskom is an essential service.
The unions want a 15% pay rise and a 5,000 rand a month housing allowance. Eskom offers 8.5% plus 1,000 rand. The unions say they would settle for 9% and 2,500 rand a month for housing. This 0.5% difference will put millions on the wage bill. Eskom says it can't afford it.
Eskom have presented a case, a very solid case. If anybody looks at the detail beyond the 8.5% offer, there's a very solid case there which no trade union will go against. You can't find this kind of benefits other than the headline inflation figure they are looking at. You can't find it anywhere else. And the bottom line is that the strike is illegal. That's it.
The National Union of Mine Workers, the biggest union in negotiations, told CNBC Africa it can't stop the strike from going ahead next week.
If there's a strike, I don't think it's necessarily going to involve the whole of the Eskom workforce. It'll be limited in nature. It'll have the status of a wildcat strike. It may have impact in certain areas and certain power stations, but it won't be a case of 30,000 Eskom employees downing tools on one day.
It couldn't come at a worse time with the eyes of the world on South Africa and the continent's first World Cup. There are likely to be many more negotiations in the coming days. For business, the best case, a settlement. The worst case, rolling blackouts and power rationing.